Evil. Big Evil.
Big Evil.
What did you do to earn it?
Can't say. Statute of time limitations haven't run out on that yet.
Me and Evil, we was in the pen together. So Evil came up to me, and Sinister from Swan, and Evil, all of them, they was doing their thing, worshiping the devil.
That was one of the most notorious and unpredictable gangsters to ever emerge from Los Angeles.
LA's most infamous shot callers happens to be in the county jail, fighting prior murder convictions. His real name is Clemen Johnson, but he's known as Big Evil.
Cops called him the coldest, most ruthless killer to ever walk the streets of LA. And that's saying something in a city with over 100,000 active gang members.
What did you do to earn it?
Can't say.
What does it take to earn a title like that? Big Evil didn't just live up to it. He defined what it meant to be a true savage.
In the 80s and 90s, Johnson was a notorious leader of the 89 Family Bloods gang. Police have linked him to 20 murders and called him the most cold-blooded killer in the city.
He openly confessed to at least 13 murders, but police believe the real count was well over 20. No one was safe, not even the witnesses.
Evil was a serial killer.
No doubt.
And I chased that motherfucker from Russell Elementary all the way over to here.
Allegedly, though.
Well, I mean, you don't get serial killer if you got somebody else killing somebody.
Yeah.
As the shot caller for the 89 Family Swan Bloods, Big Evil helped transform his crew into one of the most feared gangs in all of Los Angeles.
Okay, well, let's just deal with arrests, convictions, and death, people sitting on death.
When Big Evil was active, the murder rate in Family Swan territory was 9 times higher than the rest of Los Angeles. To put that in perspective, if the entire city had the same body count rate, it would have been like Louisiana reporting over 22,000 murders a year.
I always say that the Neighborhood Families is probably the most active gang in LA history, pound for pound, for all the guys that went to death row or caught murder cases.
Let's dive deeper into the story of Clean Big Evil Johnson, a man whose life and legacy have left a dark mark on Los Angeles. Born on October 15, 1967, Clemen Big Evil Johnson had what seemed like the perfect childhood, at least by street standards. Raised in South Central LA by 2 loving parents, Alien and Clemen Sr., Big Evil grew up in a modest 3-bedroom house on 88th Street. The home was a picture of suburban bliss, complete with a white exterior, a big porch, and a backyard with a pigeon coop. It was the kind of place where kids, including his 2 older half-brothers, 2 younger brothers, and a whole neighborhood crew, would hang out and play. Imagine a scene straight out of a Norman Rockwell painting, especially during summer afternoons when Alien would hand out Kool-Aid to all the boys and invite neighbors over for dinner. Before the meal, the family would gather together to say, Grass young Clemen was remembered by neighbors as a sweet, helpful kid with a big smile. He'd always offer to carry groceries for the ladies in the neighborhood, carefully balancing the heaviest bags to avoid tripping on curbs. He even earned merit, badges as a Boy Scout, and proudly displayed his survival badge. Despite the tough neighborhood, Clemen's childhood had a sense of innocence, until the violence started creeping in. At just 3 years old, the Crips began forming less than a mile from his house. Within years, South Central's streets would be drenched in blood. As gang warfare intensified, families were forced to sleep on floors to avoid gunfire, and babies were caught in the crossfire. LA, once dubbed the City of Angels, earned a new title, the gang capital of America. As the Crips grew stronger, rival sets like the Pirates, Bounty Hunters, Brims, and Swans began forming the Bloods. In this chaos, the 89 Family Bloods emerged, and Big Evil would become one of its most feared figures. His descent into the life of crime started when he was about 8. Clemen was sitting on a fire hydrant at 84th and Town when a car pulled up, and a group of teenagers jumped out, opening fire. His friend Daryl was killed right in front of him. It was Clemen's first encounter with death, and it wouldn't be the last. Violence soon became as much a part of his environment as the sounds of planes flying into LAX. By the time Kleeman reached middle school, he was already known for his toughness. One day, a bigger Crip started bullying some younger kids. Kleeman, then in 7th grade, wasn't having it. He rushed the bully, slammed his face into a basketball pole, and walked away with his reputation solidified. From then on, he was no longer just another kid. He was a rising figure in the streets. The tug of war between his family's love and the streets' pull was inevitable. Despite his parents' attempts to keep him grounded, Big Evil was soon hanging out with older, tougher men, many of them ex-cons. He quickly earned a reputation as a skilled street fighter, earning the respect of both friends and rivals alike. As one of his rivals from the Kitchen Crips put it, he could really throw down. It takes more than just a gun to get respect. But by the late 1970s, fists weren't enough anymore. As gun violence escalated, Kleeman adapted. He became just as comfortable with a weapon in his hand as he was with his fists. He even assembled a crew of ruthless family members known as the 88 Monsters, his personal commando squad. Though he still showed respect to his parents at home, the anger he carried on the streets was undeniable. Defending his turf became an obsession. The LAPD and DA's gang unit quickly identified the 89 Family Bloods as one of the most dangerous and violent gangs in LA. Detective Christopher Barling remembered how the 89 Family's ruthless tactics often made it impossible for them to keep up. The 89 Family didn't just retaliate, they strategized, planned, and moved with precision. Big Evil wasn't just a shooter, he was a street tactician. Evil's reputation as a cold-blooded killer spread. He was known for not only his quick retaliation, but his ability to beat murder charges even while behind bars. Word on the street was clear. Big Evil was untouchable, and as his name grew, so did his legendary status. In 1991, he pulled off one of the most daring and strategic attacks on the Avalon Gardens housing projects, making headlines for its sheer chaos and precision. It wasn't just violence. It was military-style strategy that left even law enforcement stunned. But eventually, the LAPD had enough. In 1994, they formed the 89 Family Task Force, a dedicated unit of detectives, FBI agents, and DA officers, all with one mission: to take Big Evil down. However, there was a huge problem. Nobody would testify. The streets feared him. Witnesses who did speak up were found dead. In one high-profile case, Gloria Lyons and Georgia Denise Jones were both murdered after agreeing to testify against the gang. Eventually, a break came when Freddie Jelks, facing his own life sentence, agreed to flip. He testified that Big Evil had ordered several murders, and this time the jury didn't hold back. Clemen Johnson, aka Big Evil, was convicted and sent to San Quentin's death row. As of 2023, reports indicated that Big Evil was eligible for parole after serving over 25 years. But despite his eligibility, he's still behind bars. The notorious figure he always was. Still feared, still remembered.